Challenge 5 is pretty much the biggest lift in this Laulima to Lamakū transition process. How do you organize or reorganize your content? How do we take those Laulima lessons and that dashboard view and make that into our Lamakū course, meaning our Lamakū content and our modules? Figuring out how you want to set up your course in Lamakū does take some time, so that's what we're going to do in this challenge. If you have migrated your course over from Laulima to Lamakū, you're going to notice that it's not going to look the same. So you're going to need to sort through the material to see what is what. So clearing the clutter, streamlining the content is important so you can get rid of superfluous information. Second, in tandem with that, you're going to want to decide on your content structure. So take a look at the content structure guide. The first section of the content guide reminds you of the difference between the Laulima terminology and organization and the Lamakū terminology and organization. Next, the following section shows you different course structure design options. First, for example, we have modules with just topics or content. And on the left side, we see an outline of what this looks like. And on the right side, we see an actual screenshot of the setup in a Lamakū course. For the next schematic, we have both modules and submodules with additional topics tucked into those. So on the left is the outline of using modules with submodules, and on the right, we see the screenshot of how this looks in Lamakū. The main difference is in your table of contents on the left side. The modules are shown as primary in the hierarchy, and submodules are indented and hidden away inside the module. So to see a module with submodules, you would click on the module and it would expand and students could see the submodules in the table of contents. One drawback of using submodules, though, is when students are using the Mobile Pulse app. Coming to the end of a submodule is kind of a stop sign for them, and they have to back up and then go to the main module and then enter the next submodule. It's not as fluid navigation for them on the Pulse mobile app. Schematic 3 shows a blend of modules and submodules and topics at the same level. So on the screenshot on the right, we see a module, we see the topics at the beginning and end of the module, and then we see the submodule folders in the middle. So these are 3 ideas of how you can arrange your course content in Lamakū. We've also included screenshots of what this will look like for students on the Post mobile app. And one final tip about content structure. We've heard from faculty that figuring out your course structure takes the most amount of time and brain power, but once you figure it out, you can then repeat the process in all of your following modules. Third, once you have your index of all of your modules, go ahead and name them all in a consistent fashion to clearly identify to students which module is which and what dates or weeks they run throughout your course term. As you create your course, you're going to want to decide what you're going to name your modules in your content. In this example, the instructor listed each specific lesson as a week, week 1, week 2, week 3, and even named the sub-modules within week 1 content, week 1 activities, week 1 wrap-up. However, if you're teaching a compressed course format, such as an 8-week, a 6-week, or 5-week course, you might find that naming your 16-week course modules as weeks can be problematic if you need to convert that 16-week course into a shorter course. So another idea for naming your modules is simply to call the modules modules. And that way, if you're shifting between a 16-week course and a shorter 8, 6, or 5-week course, you can simply tell students to do 2 modules, Module 1 and Module 2 in week 1 of the course. And this way you won't confuse the students. And yet another idea is to name your modules according to the chapter of, say, a textbook that you use. And this way you can assign students multiple chapters for a course week. And again, this will make it easier if you often teach 16-week courses and then the shorter 8, 6, or 5-week courses. One more thing to point out about modules is that in this example, you see dates listed. For example, Chapter 2 Sky says it runs from January 20th to February 24th. However, this is because this instructor has locked the modules, has set start and end dates for the modules. So unless you set start and end dates, release dates for your modules, students will simply see the module or week or whatever name you assign each of your lessons. If you want to include the actual dates in the name of the lesson, then you would do so like the example you see here that indicates when the content runs from. A reminder, the smaller print you see is because this instructor has locked modules to begin on specific dates. Lastly, a great way to double check your modules have been set up in the correct order is to go to the home page of your course and look at the visual table of contents widget. In this example, if I scroll down my visual table of contents page, I can see the various weeks of the course and a separate folder that says resources. However, if I go into content and scroll down the left side of the screen, I see the resources folder is actually hidden. So comparing the visual table of content widget with your table of contents is important to make sure that you are showing the content to your students that you want them to see and hiding what you don't want them to see. Okay, that was challenge 5. So if you have completed all 4 of the challenge 5 tasks, then yep, you are done for today.